Hey, it's a nice day here, so I thought I'd come out in the woods and make a video. I wanted to start off these videos by talking about theater. One of my friends, who shall remain nameless, Eric, suggested I do a couple of videos about my childhood first so people wouldn't think I was nuts. I think it backfired. Don't take people's advice when you're trying to do something artistic, because it never comes out the way you want it to. Anyway, I did theater for a number of years. I was not professionally, really. I was in college theater, and I did summer stock a couple of years in community theater, all kinds of stuff. I was in a bunch of plays. I worked on a bunch more, and I was real into it for a while. And before I say anything crappy about people, I will say that some of the smartest, funniest, most interesting, coolest people I've ever known I met through theater. I mean, no question, no question. A couple of them are kind of famous now, a couple of my friends, in the movies. And you wouldn't recognize their names, which I'm not going to drop names, but if I showed you pictures, you'd say, oh, yeah, I know that guy, I know her, I know him. It's really cool to know them, and they deserve their success. These two I know. They're character actors, which means they do a lot of different things. They're not just, one-trick ponies. And they're really decent people, and they deserve every bit of their success. But the interesting stories I have from theater are about the people who weren't so cool. And the one that comes to mind always is this teacher of a class I had at a large campus in Pennsylvania. The main campus of a school with branch campuses. When I was on a branch campus of the school, I was in a whole bunch of shows. I really learned a lot. It was a great experience. It was a great experience. And then I went to the main campus, and I couldn't get arrested down there. There were a million theater majors down there. It was a big mistake to get in with a herd of people, I have so many stories. I'll just tell the one. I had this class called Dramatic Movement, which, if you wanted to summarize that in one sentence, it's be an oak tree, Dan. Huh? Be an oak tree. What are you supposed to do? I can't even dance, because growing up I played the drums. All through my childhood and teenage years I played the drums, so I never learned how to dance. I was always the one in the band playing. I wasn't dancing. And also, when you drum, your beat's all wrong. People go up and down exactly the opposite the way I do when they're dancing. So when I did try to dance, I stood out like a sore thumb, like a moron, so so what? I had a lot more fun drumming than dancing, but I just can't do it. So with this dramatic movement class, I had a lot of problems right off the bat. Just one story. We came in one day, and typical of a dramatic movement class, he said, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pair you up, I'm going to put on some music, and I want you to just feel the music and move to it. It sounds simple. It's not simple. Plus, it's stupid. So he pairs me up with this girl who's studying ballet, right? And he puts on this horrifying classical music that I feel absolutely nothing from. And we're standing there, and the whole class is looking at us, right? And we're standing there, and this music's playing. So she starts doing things, She starts going like this and going like this, and all this crap that I don't understand. And I'm just standing there, right? So finally, she starts coming over to me and dancing over to me and dancing away and dancing back over. And finally, she puts her hand out like this. Something like this or something goofy. So I take her hand, right? So she starts flittering around the room like this. Flittering around the room. And I'm walking behind her like this. I don't know what's going on. She's dragging me around, right? I'm feeling so stupid. Well, it's not for me. I feel so stupid. So finally, he ends this thing, right? And he comes up to me and he says, Dan, don't you know what she was trying to do? And I honestly said, no. And he says, she was trying to teach you how to fly. Now, yet another instance. If I'd had a pistol, could have resolved the whole thing. But no, it went on for another 2 months. Every class was like that. That one just comes to mind because it was so humiliating. A couple times we did actual scenes in that class, just regular scenes. And I remember one of these girls came up to me afterwards and said, you're terrible in that class, but when we do scenes, you're really, really good. And I said, yeah, because that's acting. That's what I'm here for. Hey, Merry Christmas. Why do I always bitch? I don't know. Because it's fun. Merry Christmas to everybody.